Hey gals and guys, it's your host Phil Larson, and this is your Motivational High Five on Grace. Let's do this. Welcome to episode 32. Do you like the show? Are you listening to it and finding that it's worthy, it's working for your life? Will you do me a favor? Will you hop onto iTunes and will you rate it? And a review would be great too. More information at thestoryshop.tv/podcast, or just send me a blank email and we'll get connected. phil@thestoryshop.tv. Grace has a lot of different meanings and uses, and sometimes, especially in the church and other spiritual programs, it can be overused. Today, I want to talk about extending ourselves some grace, which is a much needed thing. I think we can extend grace to others maybe fairly readily, but to ourselves, maybe it's our last thing that we feel like we should do, because we're our own worst critic and we compare ourselves. We look to the sides and we say, I'm not as good as them. And instead of focusing on ourselves and saying, well, today I need to go easy on myself. And today I want you to go easy on yourself. You deserve grace from yourself. The definition of grace I want to focus on today is this one: a temporary exemption, a reprieve. The definition of exemption: the process of freeing or state of being free from an obligation or a liability imposed on others. And I want to add today, imposed on ourselves. You know, when I talked to, in the last episode, to a guy who was having a hard time with self-belief and being able to contribute to the podcast, I think the reaction that was most helpful to him was to say, me too, as I identify with my own hardships of believing in myself and believing I have something to share, and to extend that to him. And he was able to go easier on himself, I think. And I think that to be true because I know that for myself. When I am my own worst critic and someone extends their own experience and says, yeah, me too, I know where you're coming from, then I could go, oh, I'm okay for feeling this way. And you are okay for feeling critical of yourselves. It's okay. You can extend yourself grace. You know, this podcast lives in the self-help realm, and sometimes self-help just really isn't that helpful to yourself because they are giving you all this tips and tricks, you know, how to hack your life and achieve lofty goals and be the best you can be, and it can be really discouraging. And I want to recognize that right now, that some of the things that maybe I say are discouraging, and I want to say that's okay. Offer yourself some grace. You know, there was a couple weeks ago where I didn't release an episode. Why? Well, it was a hard week for me. It was busy and it was also emotionally taxing. And in talking with my wife, she said, it's okay. Let it be a hard week. And so I did, and I didn't release an episode. And I think that was a good choice. I extended myself some grace, a temporary exemption. As now 5 months into the podcast and 32 episodes in, there are some overarching themes that I hope bleed through. And one of those is grace. And for example, in Potential, where we looked at that quote, which says, if you're not growing, you're dying, which can be a very condemning message, you know, to offer grace to yourself, to say, maybe I'm neither growing nor dying. I am dormant like a seed. And growth shouldn't be a race. And again, with the self-help podcasts and books, and sometimes it just seems like a race, and that you need to get your 10,000 hours, and you need to go at the rate in which you can keep your sanity and love yourself well. You need to self-care along the way. Another quote some people find really, inspiring, that I don't know if it's always helpful, is, if you fall down 7 times, you stand up 8. Which doesn't make sense, because if I fall down 7 times, I'm going to stand up 7 times. But the true and real and good thing is that you're up before you fall. And all you have to do is get up once, because you're already ahead. You fall once, you get up once. You're back to where you started, ahead. Friends, go easy on yourself. And to help hammer that in, I'm going to read a poem that my wife loves, and allows the freedom to let go of trying so hard to be good that it comes at the cost of our sanity. This poem is called Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clear blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. The beginning of that. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. I know that. I feel like sometimes I can't be good unless I do this incredible thing to somehow make me good. Friends, you are good. If something isn't unhealthy for you, let your body love what it loves. Was it a hard week and you feel guilty for sleeping in? Maybe you need to sleep in. You took a sugary drink over a water, that's okay. Give yourself some grace. You deserve it. At the end of our 5-minute episode, we choose to look into the reflection of ourselves, and we share with ourselves as a way to counteract the negative narratives in our lives, and we hammer in a new positive narrative. And when we do that, like I said, we look into the mirror, we say it in first person, and today will you say this? I can receive grace from myself because I deserve it. And you do, but we may have never even met before. You don't even know my heart. So you deciding you deserve it and then taking action on that, saying this okay, and then forgiving yourselves, receiving the grace, that is your decision and your action to make. I can't do that for you. It starts with you.